Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Master Bitters Presents Bracket Reviews. My name is DeAndre Robinson, and today I am here by myself, which is not a bad thing. It's going to be different. Life is life for a lot of people. A lot of people couldn't do it today, so I'm doing some of my solo. So we've done the review for 90s TV shows, JV and Varsity. What we're going to start now is the JV TV shows for 2000s, TV shows for 2000s. How this goes is that I took the top 208 TV shows on IMDb for the year, for the 2000s. From January 1st, 2000 to December 31st, 2009, the category that we in right now. So I took the top 208. I made the top 104 varsity and the top 104 JV. And then I turned both of those into a bracket, each respective bracket. So we are going to be talking about JV bracket was the bottom 104. And what I do is I ask Twitter to vote on these. How this bracket goes, the highest seed will all play the low seed, always play the low seed. There'll be a bye in a fourth round in the quarterfinals. There'll be groupings of four. If there's a groupings of four, two will move on. If there's a 1v1, one will move on. And we will keep going until there's a winner. And then the third place game, I will choose the third place game. Normally it'll be all of us, but I'm going to choose a third place game on my own. Yeah. So, and I'm going to review. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each matchup, all the matchups. I'm going to say what our person would have picked, but then I'm going to tell you what Twitter actually picked. Okay. Before we go on, myself, my wife, Josh, Harvey, CJ, and Amanda, we I wanted to tell you what our top 10 TV shows from this bracket is. We all voted. We used math to come up with the votes, and we're just going to tell you what our top 10 is. Number 10 is Cold Case. I love Cold Case. Cold Case is a TV show about detectives that need to solve cold case files, which are files or things that nobody's ever solved before. They get to solve. Number 9 is CSI Miami, which I think is the best CSI personally. Number 8 is Survivor. Number 7 is Grey's Anatomy. Number 6 is CSI Crime Scene Investigation. Number 5 is Reba. Number 4 is Smallville. Number 3 is My Wife and Kids. Number 2 is Heroes. And number 1, 2.5 Men. So let's see if Twitter agrees with us. And all right. So the first grouping are play-ins. We got Ghost Whisperer 2005, Quiet Confidential 2007, Birds of Prey 2002, and Life on Top 2009. If it was me choosing one of these to move on, I would have personally chose Quiet Confidential. Now, I know people listen to that, might think that's some freaky ass shit right there. However, though, you take off the porn, the softcore porn. Actually, wasn't a bad teen drama. It wasn't personally. It has some lot of funny things in it. But then it has also a lot of sex in it as well. I personally would have picked Quiet Confidential, but the two that moved on was Ghost Whisperer 2005 and Birds of Prey 2002. Now we're going to get into the actual bracket. 1 was Drake and Josh from 2004. Number 2 was The L Word 2004. Number 99 was According to Jim 2001. And number 100 was CSI Miami 2002. Personally, I would have picked CSI Miami. Horatio Crane is one of the smoothest talking people alive. And I personally would have picked CSI Miami. But the two that moved on was CSI Miami with 39% of the votes, and According to Jim with 30% of the votes. Next grouping is number 3, Nip Tuck 2003. Number 4, The Middle 2009. Number 97, Big Time Rush 2009. Or number 98, Jimmy Kimmel Live 2003. Now, personally, I would have probably picked Jimmy Kimmel, and this is even before the whole Trump thing, all that kind of good shit. Personally, I would pick Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel did move on with 40% of the votes. The Middle came in second with 34% of the votes, so they both moved on. Next grouping is CSI Crime Scene Investigation. That's number 5. We came out 2002. Number 6, The Vampire Diaries, 2009. Number 95 is Andromeda, 2000. And number 96 is The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, 2005. Personally, I would have went with CSI Crime Scene Investigation. I do think CSI Miami is better. However, out of this grouping, I would have picked CSI. And CSI did move on with 54% of the votes to come in first place. The Vampire Diaries came in second with 23% of the votes. Now, I have a grudge with the Vampire Diaries because their fans are hardcore fans. And I understand that. You love what you love. Howard, there's some wild things they talked about. They said that this was better than True Blood. That is disrespectful. It's a disrespectful lie. No way in hell Vampire Diaries is better than True Blood. I'm ready to debate anybody, anytime, anywhere on that. All right. Next group is number 7, Even Stevens, 2000. Number 6, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, 2001. Number 93, What I Like About You, 2002. Or number 94, 5 Days, 2007. Personally, I would want Even Stevens. I grew up in that Disney, that Disney right there, the Disney rocket shows with Even Stevens, all that kind of good stuff. I think it's an underrated teen show. I personally with Even Stevens. And Even Stevens did come in second place, so it did move on with 28% of the votes. What I Like About You came in first with 42% of the votes. Mind you, all these are on Twitter. We always have brackets going on every single day on Twitter. If you want to come and vote for your votes, follow me at it's debaters_mass. All right. Back to the bracket. Next group is number 9, Saving Grace, 2007. Number 10 is Greek, 2007. Number 91 is Ugly Betty, 2006. Or number 92 is Lizzie McGuire, 2001. Now, again, I told you, just grew up in that Disney, that teen comedy drama, rocket shows on Disney. So I have to go with Lizzie McGuire on this one. And it was tied for first place with 33% of the votes. Ugly Betty was also the other 33% of the votes as well. So both those two moved on. The next grouping is number 11, Stargate Universe, 2009. Number 12, Legend of the Seeker, 2008. Number 89, The Soul Raven, 2003. Number 90, Reba, 2001. Now, I know I said I grew up in that Disney rocket show, so if anything else was here outside of Reba, I would pick that Soul Raven. However, though, I am going to go Reba here. Reba was actually a really good show. I did like it a lot. So I'm going to go Reba here. And Reba did move on first place with 42% of the votes. Stargate Universe came in second with 34% of the votes. Next grouping is number 13, Warehouse 13, 2009. Number 14, Terminator, The Sarah Connor Chronicles, 2008. Number 87 is The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, 2002. Or number 88, Hidden Palms, 2007. I would have picked The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron. That wasn't a bad cartoon either. Jimmy Neutron did win by 41% of the votes. Terminator, The Sarah Connor Chronicles came in second with 38% of the votes. Next, number 15, Alias, 2001. Number 16, The OC, 2003. Number 85, guys, Los Angeles, 2009. And number 86, B, 2009. Personally, I would have went with NCIS Los Angeles. However, though, it did come in third place, so it did not move on. First place was Alias with 34% of the votes. The OC came in second with 25% of the votes. The next grouping is number 17, Cold Case, 2003. Number 18, Desperate Housewives, 2004. Number 83, Private Practice, 2007. Number 84, iCarly, 2007. Again, personally, I would have went with Cold Case. Being from Philly, it's based out of Philly. A lot of dark tone with this. It clicked for me. And it did come in first place with 37% of the votes. Desperate Housewife came in second place with 36% of the votes. The next grouping is number 19, Grey's Anatomy, 2005. And I am surprised that Grey's Anatomy is on JV. I was shocked, like everybody else, that to find Grey's Anatomy on JV. 19, Grey's Anatomy, 2005. Number 20, Still Standing, 2002. Number 81, The Game, 2006. Or number 82, V, 2009. Now, I don't think, we talk about this a lot, and I do think this is true, that a lot of my voters on Twitter are white. It is what it is. They're white. So that they did not see a lot of the black shows. And The Game is one of the black shows I'm talking about. Okay, The Game's first two seasons was fantastic. But it did, and I would have picked The Game, but it did come in last place. Number 19, Grey's Anatomy came in first with 55% of the votes. V came in second with 23% of the votes. Now, I haven't watched V, this version of V or the 80s version of V, but a lot of my friends tell me that the 80s version is better. Take that what you will. Next grouping is number 21, Invasion, 2005. Number 22, Grounded for Life, 2001. Number 79, My Wife and Kids, 2000. Number 80, Numbers, 2005. Again, I'm going to go to Black Sitcom, which is My Wife and Kids, which did come in first with 33% of the votes. Numbers came in second with 29% of the votes. Next grouping, number 23, Kitchen Nightmare, 2007. Number 24, Army Wives, 2007. Number 77, George Lopez, 2002. Or number 78, Wizard of Waverly Place, 2007. Personally, I don't like any of these shows. And I watched all of George Lopez. I wasn't a big fan. However, though, it's the only one I've actually watched out of the four. So I would pick George Lopez, and it did come in second with 21% of the votes. Kitchen Nightmares came in first with 49% of the votes. I'm not a big fan of Gordon Ramsay. Just not a fan. Don't scream in my face because we'll have a fucking problem. Just saying. Number 25, and then the next grouping is Kyle XY, 2006. Number 26 is Drop Dead Diva, 2009. Number 75 is CSI New York, 2004. Number 76, Yes Dare, 2000. I will go with personally CSI NY, CSI New York. And it did come in first with 51% of the votes. Yes Dare came in second with 34% of the votes. In this grouping, number 27 is Everybody Hates Chris, 2005. Number 28 was Everwood, 2002. Number 73 is 8 Simple Rules, 2002. And number 74, Without a Trace, 2002. Again, I'm probably going to go with the Black Sitcom. Not because it's black, because I do think it's better. So I will with Everybody Hates Chris, what came in first place with 64% of the votes. However, the 8 Simple Rules came in second with 23%, and that wasn't the best sitcom either. Just saying. Next grouping. Number 29, Brothers and Sisters, 2006. Number 30, Ben 10, 2005. Number 71, So You Think You Can Dance, 2005. Or number 72, Cougar Town, 2009. I hate reality TV shows and I hate reality competition shows, but out of the four, I'll probably pick you So You Think You Can Dance. That did come in second with 24% of the votes. Cougar Town came in first with 36% of the votes. Next grouping has number 31, Survivor, 2000. Number 32, Law and Order Criminal Intent, 2001. Number 69, 2.5 Men, 2003. Or number 70, Crossing Jordan, 2001. I would have went with 2.5 Men. Very, very funny. One of my favorite, top 20 TV shows of all time. 15 to 20. I gotta make that ranking. Super funny. I love it so much. I still watch clips on my YouTube right now. How though my wife was here, she would have picked Survivor. That's one of her favorite shows as well. But 2.5 Men and Survivor did move on. 2.5 Men had 42% of the votes. Survivor had 34% of the votes. Next grouping is number 33, Star Trek Enterprise, 2001. Number 34, Heroes, 2006. Number 60, Ancient Aliens, 2009. And number 68, Medium, 2005. Out of the four, I would pick Heroes. And the Heroes did move on for first place with 57% of the votes. Star Trek Enterprise came in second with 30% of the votes. However, Ancient Aliens came in last with 2%, and that's probably my number 2 pick for this round. I like thinking about what's out there. Do I think it's aliens out there? Actually, kind of do, kind of truth. That might make me sound crazy. I understand that, but can't be the only people in this world. We can't be the only people in this world. It just that's just weird to me. It has to be more than us in this world. And Ancient Aliens, it's very, very interesting. It's not really reality TV. It's a docuseries, and I actually like this docuseries a lot. Next grouping is number 35, Gossip Girl, 2007. Number 36, Smallville, 2001. Number 65, Drawn Together, 2004. Or number 66, Caprica, 2009. Sorry if I said that wrong. Personally, I will win with Drawn Together. Drawn Together is extremely underrated and extremely funny, but it did come in second place with 23% of the votes. Upfield came in first with 53% of the votes. The next grouping is number 37, Girlfriends, 2000. Number 38, Total Drama, 2007. Number 63, Royal Pains, 2009. Or number 64, The Backyardigans, 2004. Personally, I would have went with Girlfriends. Again, black sitcom, players. And this was the first Friday vote. If you don't know what a Friday vote is, that means that the second place was a tie. And what we do is, for Friday votes, is I asked that I did not make these rankings podcast network to vote. We all vote, and whoever wins go move on. And what win this time was out of between the Girlfriends and the Royal Pains, and Girlfriends did win. So the Backyardigans had 52% of the votes. Girlfriends had 22.5% of the votes. The next grouping is number 39, The Guardian, 2001. Number 40, Master of Horror, 2005. Number 61, Fish, 2005. On number 62, Fairly Odd Parents, 2001. The Fairly Odd Parents did come in first with 59% of the votes, so they move on. And then The Guardian came in second with 17% of the votes. Personally, I would have went with Fairly Odd Parents as well. I thought it was a unique concept for a cartoon, so I would have picked the Fairly Odd Parents. Next grouping for round one is number 41, The Batman, 2004. Number 42, In Plain Sight, 2008. Number 59, Hell's Kitchen, 2005. Number 60, Hung, 2009. Personally, I went with The Batman, and it did come in second place with 26% of the votes. Hell's Kitchen came in first with 46% of the votes. That's that Gordon Ramsay shit. Like I said, I can't do it. Can't do it. Next grouping is number 43, is this classified school survival guide, 2004. Number 44 is Ben 10, Alien Force, 2008. Number 57 is The New Adventures of Oaker's Teen, 2006. And number 58 is Kim Possible, 2002. Personally, I probably would with Kim Possible. Personally, my friend Josh has the ringtone still to this day of Kim Possible. I would pick Kim Possible. Kim Possible did come in for second with 28% of the votes. New Adventures of Oaker's Teen came in first with 44% of the votes. Next grouping is number 45, Rules of Engagement, 2007. Number 46, Las Vegas, 2003. 55, Danny Phantom, 2003. Or number 56, Pawn Stars, 2009. I've been to the place in Pawn Stars in Vegas, so that's what I'm picking. Because I haven't watched the next four, so I'm picking it because I've been to that Pawn Star place in Vegas. But it did come in first place with 46% of the votes, and then Las Vegas came in second with 28% of the votes. Next grouping is number 47, American Dad, 2005. Number 48, Jackass, 2000. Number 53, Dark Angel, 2000. Number 54, Codename Kid Next Door, 2002. Personally, I went with Jackass. Mainly because of the movies. I was a bigger fan of the movies than the TV show, but it's basically all the same thing, except for a lot more cursing and a lot more dicks and shit. But American Dad coming first with 43% of the votes. Jackass did come in second with 40% of the votes. And last grouping in this round is number 49, The 4400, 2004. Number 50, Tell Me You Love Me, 2007. Number 51, The Dead Zone, 2002. Number 52, Ghost Adventures, 2008. I'm just going to go with the 4400. They come in second with 27% of the votes. Dead Zone came in first with 41% of the votes. All right, now we're on round two. Again, this groupings of four. Two will move on to round three. All right, so the first grouping in round two is Ghost Whisperer, the middle, Birds of Prey, CSI Crime System, Clean Investigation. Personally, I would went with CSI, and it did come in first with 56% of the votes. The middle came in second with 27% of the votes. Next grouping is CSI Miami, The Vampire Diaries, According to Jim, and Even Stevens. Personally, I would have went with CSI Miami. However, it came in third place in this round, in this grouping, sorry. The Vampire Diaries came in second with 27% of the votes. According to Jim, came in first with 39% of the votes. I highly disagree. I think that CSI Miami should have wiped the floor with this, but it did not. So, is y'all voting? Next grouping is Jimmy Kimmel Live, Stargate Universe, What I Like About You, and Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles. Personally, I went with What I Like About You. However, that also came in third place. Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles came in second with 18% of the votes. Jimmy Kimmel Live came in first with 58% of the votes. Next grouping is Lizzie McGuire, Us, Ugly Betty, and the OC. Personally, I went with Lizzie McGuire. But again, I vote my TV shows that I like will come in third place. Alias came in first with 45% of the votes. The OC came in second with the 22% of the votes. Next grouping is Reba, Cold Case, The Adventure of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, Desperate Housewives. Personally, I went with Cold Case, and I got one right because Cold Case did come in second with 24% of the votes. Desperate Housewives came in first with 36% of the votes. This next grouping has a Friday vote. We have V, Grey's Anatomy, Numbers, Nightmares. Obviously, Grey's Anatomy came in first with 36% of the votes. Then we had a tie between V and Numbers. And we had the vote, and the winner was V. V moves on with 22.5% of the votes. Next grouping is My Wife and Kids, Everybody Hates Chris, George Lopez, and Survivor. I would have went with My Wife and Kids. Actually, I probably went with Everybody Hates Chris, actually. Everybody Hates Chris did come in second with 25% of the votes. Survivor came in first with 41% of the votes. Next grouping is Yes Dear, Star Trek Enterprise, CSI New York, and Heroes. I went with Heroes, and Heroes did win by 36% of the votes. Second was Yes Dear with 25% of the votes. Next grouping is A Simple Rules, Smallville, Cougar Town, and Girlfriends. Personally, I went with Girlfriends. However, though, Girlfriends did come in dead last because, again, I don't think a lot of our voters watch black sitcoms. And I know that because Smallville came in first with 36% of the vote, which I don't mind that. However, A Simple Rules, even though I said it was good, I don't think it was better than Girlfriends. And A Simple Rules did come in second with 34% of the votes. Next group is the Guardian. So you think you can dance, 2.5 Men, and the Batman. Personally, I would go with 2.5 Men, and that did come in first with 63% of the votes. The Batman did come in second with 25% of the votes. Are drawn together, Las Vegas, The Backyardigans, and American Dad. Personally, I went away with Drawn Together, but it did come in dead last. American Dad came in first with 51% of the votes. Las Vegas came in second with 19% of the votes. Next grouping is The Fairly Odd Parents, Jackass, Hell's Kitchen, and the 4400. I went with Jackass, and Jackass did come in first with 42% of the votes. The Fairly Odd Parents came in second with 23% of the votes, and I personally would have had that second as well. And last one in this round, groupings of four are Kim Possible, The Dead Zone, The New Adventures of Oka's Team, and Pawn Stars. Personally, I went with Kim Possible, however, it did come in third place. The New Adventures of Oka's Team came in second with 31% of the votes. Pawn Stars came in first with 40% of the votes. So now we're on round three, and there'll still be groupings of four, but the last matchup will be a 1v1. So in round three, first grouping have According to Jim, The Middle, Jimmy Kimmel Live, and CSI Crime Scene Investigation. First place was CSI Crime Scene Investigation, but we did have a Friday vote with this, and the group picked The Middle. So CSI had 33% of the votes. The Middle had 25.5% of the votes. Personally, I would have went with Jimmy Kimmel Live. Personally, I do think I think our group got it wrong, and we're a different group. We have black people, we have white people, we have ladies, we have men. The people from the hood, from South, East Coast, West Coast, all that kind of. So it's like this group is fantastic. I love these guys, by the way, but we are different. And personally, I would have went with Jimmy Kimmel Live. I think they got it wrong. Well, I think we got it wrong, but it is what it is. Also, the highest seeded TV show will get a bye into the quarterfinals. And since The Middle did technically move on, it gets the bye into the quarterfinals. The next grouping in round three, we have B, The Vampire Diaries, Yes Dear, and Terminator Sarah Chronicles. The Sarah Connor Chronicles. Personally, I went with Yes Dear. And Yes Dear did win by 37% of the votes. V came in second with 27%. Next grouping is 8 Simple Rules, Alias, 2.5 Men, and the OC. I personally would have went with 2.5 Men, and 2.5 Men did win by 48% of the votes. Second was the Alias with 19% of the votes. Next grouping is the Fairly Odd Parents, Cold Case, The New Adventure of Old Christine, and Desperate Housewives. I personally would have went with Cold Case, and Cold Case did win by 28% of the votes. Second place was Desperate Housewife with 25% of the votes. The next grouping is Pawn Stars, Greg's Anatomy, Jackass, Everybody Hates Chris. Personally, I went with Everybody Hates Chris, although it did come in dead last. First place was Jackass, 33% of the votes. Second place was Grey's Anatomy with 26% of the votes. The next and the last grouping of 4 in this round is American Dad, Survivor, Las Vegas, and Heroes. Personally, I went with Heroes out of the 4. However, though, it came in dead last. Survivor came in first with 37% of the votes. American Dad came in second with 29% of the votes. And we got our first 1v1, which is Smallville versus the Batman. Personally, I would have went with Smallville. Vote for Smallville did go through. Smallville wins by 50.5% of the votes. So we're in round 4 now, and like I said before, middle has the bye, so automatically goes to the quarterfinals. The lowest part of this bracket will also get a bye. The extra person will also get a bye into the semifinals. Okay, and also this is the last round of groupings of 4. I said this after this round is going to be 1v1s. So groupings of 4. The first one for round 4 is V, CSI Crime Scene Investigation, Yes Dear, and Alias. Personally, I went with CSI, and CSI did win by 46% of the votes. Yes Dear came in second with 24% of the votes. They both move on to the 1v1 round. Next groupings of 4 is 2.5 Men, Cold Case, Jackass, and Desperate Housewives. Personally, I will with 2.5 Men. 2.5 Men did come in first place with 52% of the votes. Jackass came in second with 31% of the votes. Then we have American Dad, Grey's Anatomy, Smallville, and Survivor. It was a tie for first place, so they both move on. American Dad and Grey's Anatomy. All right, now we're in the quarterfinals. American Dad will automatically get a bye into the Final 4 or the semifinals. But when the quarterfinals is all 1v1s, we have the middle versus Yes Dear. I don't really care for both of these shows. I'm literally surprised that they all made it this far. I personally would have went with Yes Dear personally, but the middle did win by 63% of the votes. Next 1v1 is CSI Crime Scene Investigation versus 2.5 Men. First, like I said, 2.5 Men, one of my top 15 TV shows of all time. 15 or 20, and again, I gotta do the rankings. But I would pick 2.5 Men, and everybody in Twitterland did as well, because they won by 53% of the votes. And then last 1v1 in this round is Jackass versus Grey's Anatomy. This was a Friday vote, and Grey's Anatomy did move on because the I did not make these rankings. Podcast Network voted for it. Personally, I went with Jackass. I go for funny more. And again, Jackass is just them doing outrageous shit. I understand that. But I personally like Jackass better. So we're in the Final 4, semifinals. We got 4 TV shows left in the JV. The winners will go to the finals. The losers will go to the third place game. Like I said, I'll be choosing the third place game. All right, so 1v1, we have the middle versus 2.5 Men. Personally, I went with 2.5 Men, and 2.5 Men did move on to the finals. The middle's in the third place game. They won by 64% of the votes. And then we have Grey's Anatomy versus American Dad. I probably would have went with American Dad as well. Twitter would do so as well because American Dad won by 61% of the votes. So the third place game is the middle versus Grey's Anatomy. I am going to go with Shonda Rhimes here, and I'm going to pick Grey's Anatomy for be the third place game winner. So it's coming third place. But we are in the finals. It is number 47, American Dad, versus number 69, Two and a Half Men. I personally did not think I would have thought that Two and a Half Men would make to the finals. I understand that part. I don't understand how American Dad made it so far. I love Family Guy. I do. And then even in our little rankings that we had in the early episode, American Dad was not in this whole list for us. We did not have American Dad. We have 35 TV shows. Nobody picked American Dad. So I mean, it just is weird to me that American Dad is in the finals. I personally would have put it there. However, though, we got number 47, American Dad, versus number 69, Two and a Half Men, and the winner of the JV bracket is Two and a Half Men by 52% of the votes, which is extremely close. Again, I don't think American Dad should be viewed that high. It gave a battle to Two and a Half Men, which should have won by a lot more than 52% of the votes. So number 1 is Two and a Half Men. Number 2 is American Dad. Number 3 is Grey's Anatomy. Number 4 is The Middle. Yeah. And that's how you do it. So again, if you ever want us to come and vote, find me on Twitter at Mass_debaters. Next time we do a bracket review, we're doing 2000 TV shows Varsity. And like always, I give you who made the quarterfinals. And for the 2000s, the quarterfinal winners are How I Met Your Mother, Breaking Bad, Parks and Rec, The Wire, Arrested Development, The Office, and The Chappelle Show. Okay? So those made the list of the quarterfinals. And I am extremely happy for Chappelle Show, being a black show, making that far. Chappelle Show is legitimately my favorite show of all time. I don't think there's a show better that I can watch more than the Chappelle Show, that I can quote more than the Chappelle Show. I am extremely happy that the Chappelle Show made it that far. So with that being said, my name is DeAndre Robinson. If you ever want to come on to do one of these brackets for yourself personally, I will never say no. We just got to find a time to do so. However, though, you got to make a bracket. You got to do a bracket that I already made. Even though I love doing the brackets, these are a bitch to make. That being said, my name is DeAndre Robinson, and we are